The courtroom was silent, so silent you could hear the tick of the clock echo off the wooden walls. An old man in a faded military jacket sat trembling in the witness stand, his hands shaking not from fear, but from the memories that still haunted him. His metals clinked faintly as he tried to hold himself upright. "Speak up, sir," the judge demanded, his tone sharp. "The court can't hear you." The old veteran swallowed hard. His voice was barely a whisper. I told you, sir. I did what I had to do to save them," but his words drowned in the murmurs of the crowd. The prosecutor smirked, pacing with confidence. "Your Honor, this man is clearly trying to manipulate the court with a sob story. There's no evidence, just the ramblings of a man clinging to a past long gone." The old man, Sergeant Major Thomas Tom Reed, age 78, closed his eyes. He had fought in wars before this country even remembered their names: Vietnam, Desert Storm, and beyond. But now, he was fighting a battle he never expected, against the very system he had sworn to protect. Tom's troubles had begun 6 months earlier. He lived alone in a small town on the outskirts of Kansas. Every morning, he'd visit the local diner, his old leather boots scuffing across the floor, always greeted by the same warm smile from the waitress, Ellie. He was a quiet man, known mostly for his gentle nature and the old photos he carried in his wallet, black and white snapshots of young soldiers, all of them gone now. One cold night, as he was walking home from the diner, he saw a car crash on the road ahead, flames bursting through the darkness. Without hesitation, Tom ran toward the wreckage. The car was turned over, smoke rising, a woman and her little boy trapped inside. He broke the glass with his bare hands, dragging them out just before the gas tank erupted in flames. But in the chaos, another man, one of the bystanders, was injured, and Tom was blamed for interfering in an active accident scene. The authorities claimed he caused more harm than help. The local police didn't care about heroism or instinct, they cared about procedures. So they arrested him, and now, months later, this decorated veteran sat in court, accused of reckless endangerment. "Mr. Reed," the judge said again, leaning forward. "The prosecution says you ignored direct police orders." "Did you?" Tom's voice cracked. "There were no police there yet, Your Honor. I didn't see anyone, I only saw the fire and heard that child screaming." "Convenient," the prosecutor sneered. "And yet you expect us to believe you risked your life for strangers without hesitation?" Tom raised his weary eyes. "That's what soldiers do." A silence fell over the courtroom. The prosecutor folded his arms. "Maybe you were a soldier once. But that was a long time ago. You're just a man who can't let go of the past." That line hit Tom like a bullet. The same words he'd heard too many times before, from strangers, from neighbors, even from doctors who told him to move on. He looked down at his hands, scarred, old, and trembling, and wondered if the world even remembered what sacrifice meant anymore. The judge sighed impatiently. "If you have nothing more to add, we'll proceed with sentencing." Suddenly, the heavy courtroom doors burst open, every head turned. A tall figure in full military uniform strode in, his chest gleaming with medals. The sound of his boots echoed like thunder across the floor. He stopped in front of the judge, saluted sharply, and said in a commanding voice, "Permission to address the court, Your Honor." "General Marcus Hale, U.S. Army, retired." The judge blinked in confusion. "General Hale? What is the meaning of this interruption?" The general turned toward the crowd and pointed directly at Tom. "That man you're about to condemn saved my entire unit in Iraq." "And you're calling him reckless?" A murmur rippled through the room. Tom's eyes widened, emotion flooding his face. "I was there," Hale continued, voice steady but burning with emotion. "We were pinned under fire, trapped between two hills. Reed, then a sergeant major, disobeyed direct orders and led a rescue maneuver that saved 23 men. Including me." He faced the judge squarely. "If disobeying orders to save lives makes a man guilty, then you better lock me up too." The prosecutor tried to speak, but his voice faltered. "General, with all due respect." "Respect?" Hale barked. "You think you know respect? You don't know what it means to stand in the mud, hearing men scream for help, and watch one man charge forward because he refuses to let anyone die on his watch." He walked to Tom and placed a hand on his shoulder. "This man isn't reckless. He's a hero. Always has been." Tears welled in Tom's eyes, his lips trembling. "Marcus. I thought you were gone," the general smiled softly. "You saved my life, old friend. I wasn't going to let you fight this battle alone." The courtroom was silent again, but this time, it wasn't with tension, it was with awe. The judge removed his glasses and leaned back. General Hale, these are serious charges, I understand that, Hale said, but I've brought witnesses. The woman and child he saved that night, they're here. A mother and her son stepped forward from the crowd, their faces emotional. The boy, no older than 10, walked straight to Tom and hugged him tightly. Thank you for saving me, he whispered, that was it. The dam broke, even the judge's voice softened as he cleared his throat. Case dismissed. A wave of relief swept through the room. People stood and clapped, the sound echoing off the courtroom walls. Tom sat there, stunned, tears sliding down his weathered cheeks. For the first time in years, he didn't feel forgotten. Outside the courthouse, reporters swarmed, but the old veteran didn't say a word. The general stood beside him, proud and protective. As they walked toward the parking lot, Hale looked at him and said, "You know, the army could use men like you again." Tom chuckled. "I think I've done my part, General." "Yeah," Hale smiled. "And more." The two men stood for a moment under the afternoon sun, two soldiers, bound by time, loss, and brotherhood. Before parting, the general saluted him. "You taught me something, Sergeant Major. The battlefield doesn't end when the war does, it just changes shape." Tom nodded, a faint smile crossing his face. "And sometimes, the hardest battles are fought in silence." That night, Tom sat on his porch, the stars glimmering above. He could finally breathe again. The world had remembered what he stood for, not medals or glory, but courage, compassion, and doing what's right even when no one's watching. He lifted his coffee mug in a quiet salute to the night sky. "To the brothers who didn't make it home, this one's for you." And somewhere deep down, he knew his story wasn't over, because true heroes never fade. They just keep fighting in different ways.